Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I just love watching that video over and over. The excitement, the coconut and the water and the time and the children and everything that's happening in that preview video is just absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Newton Cross and I'm the principal and trainer of SABA International Butler Academy. With me in studio is Mr. Bram West.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here with you today on Facebook.
Yes, and YouTube. We're Facebook and YouTube.
Wow.
We're live everywhere, yes.
And what are we talking about today?
Well, first of all, before we get to our topic, we are in our virtual butler studio where we're training our butlers around the world and students around the world. And today we are going to give you a little lesson on housekeeping, my favorite and your favorite topic and module we cover here at the Butler Academy. So we are going to look at the, yay, wonderful, excellent, thank you so much. So we're going to look at the 10 golden rules when it comes to cleaning. 10 golden rules when it comes to cleaning. So the first rule we are going to look at, and this is very important, the reason why we are doing the 10 golden rules, because sometimes we just will start to clean maybe the kitchen or the lounge or that area, and then we'll dot over, and this has happened so many times to me as well, is that your brain goes to this area, you start doing laundry, and then you divert it into packing a cupboard, and then you get diverted into reading a magazine, and then you forget your products on this area, and then the phone rings, and you get diverted again and diverted, and so the house doesn't really get to the cleaning that needs to happen. So let's look at the 10 golden rules when it comes to all kind of cleaning. So the first one, Mr. West, is clean it up sooner rather than later.
Yes, that means that if there's a spill or anything like that, is to clean it immediately. Because it's much easier to clean it immediately because it won't dry, it won't get that sticky, and it is just will make the task so much easier.
If you have a spill, so immediately if something spills, like for instance red wine, if you leave that for later, it's going to get harder to remove a stain.
Yes, so that is how you're going to create a stain if you're going to leave it for too long. And that's the same with stains as well. You have to clean it as soon as possible when it's still fresh. A food spill, anything on the floor, on the kitchen counter, clean it and wipe it immediately. You know, sometimes when people cook on their stove, if you see that they don't use a spatter, you know, then rather just when you finish with that pan, if there's any fat and oils, wipe it down immediately when it's still warm and wet, because that is just much easier to do.
You know that one of the things is try not to fry on a stove. Try to do that kind of like outdoors or outside. And it's because if there's oil spills and you leave it, that grease that goes into the oil or the oil spills around the stove or the hob, if you leave it, it'll just take so much more effort in cleaning later. Because then you'll have to soak it, you'll have to add bicarb, and there's a concoction that's going to happen.
That smell, that food smell.
I know. You know, sometimes when we do assessments and when we go to different places, you also know that this is very important and high priority for a butler is that cleaning as you go immediately. So number one is clean it up sooner rather than later. Number two is clean from the top to bottom.
Yes, we always start at the top and we clean down. We always say to divide your
Space.
room into 3 spaces, a high, a middle and a low, and clean from the top down because dust travels through the air and it's much easier to clean that way.
If you start from the top and you are cleaning, dusting, cleaning, wiping, remember dry and then wet. So from top and then you go to the medium, you've got all the medium is probably the busiest area because you've got all the surfaces and all that area to clean. So you're going to clean that area and then you're going to do, just before you do the last, if there's any styling, when you have those elements, then you will do your floor. So you don't go back onto a wet floor and walk on the floor.
Like that.
Yes, remember that whole thing where your grandmother says, please go outside, I've just washed the floor.
Yeah, no one moves through here.
No one is allowed inside because just clean the floor. So that's very important to remember. Now I've mentioned actually number 3, which is think dry, then wet.
Yes, we always start with dry dusting because most of the stuff that's dirty will be dust. And if I start with a wet cloth, then dust and wet or damp will make mud. So we're first going to do dry dusting and then thereafter, if a wet cloth is used, I could use a damp cloth or a wet or a product.
I have to tell you, this has actually happened to me where I've taken a wet cloth and you get 3 types of dust or maybe more. However, you get your white dust, your grey dust and your dark dust. Now, if you wipe on top of a cupboard and you have a wet cloth and you say, wow, look how dirty this is, you're actually creating paint.
Yes, you polish or paint the whole wall, you can make streaks, and that will just then make it harder for you to clean on the end.
Yes, so remember to dry, use a dry cloth, then a wet cloth. So that's number 3. Number 4, start with the least harmful approach. And this is very important. So when you are using your gentlest cleaning products rather than your more harsh products.
So I think the least harmful approach is actually the dry cleaning or the dry dusting. Before you'll use any chemical or any product, you'll use the softer one, maybe an all-purpose cleaner first, because that will not damage anything.
But look, for instance, if you look at granite. Granite is one of the big topics when we talk about cleaning. And it actually uses nothing, it just uses water. So you don't use any product or any chemical onto granite. Let's look at antique furniture, for instance. Antique furniture, you know, it's these spray cans come out and it sprays.
Oh, those are full of silicone and they can damage.
They can damage if there's sunlight. So they have their own purpose and good for other reasons. However, use water or use an all-purpose cleaner if you don't know. So the least harmful approach is always the best.
Like before you scrub.
There we go. So number 5, let time do the work for you. So work out a schedule, a program. What gets done today, tomorrow, weekly, monthly.
I think also some of the products needs to be on the surface for a while for the product to use, to work actually. So you must do your timing correct. Maybe you'll apply the cleaning product and let it stand for a while and then come and wipe and wash or rinse.
Yes, and for schedules, it's very important. So you have to also remember to schedule your housekeeping so that you can also know what will be done on which days. So for the product and for the schedule, yes. Good. Number 6, carry out supplies with you. Carry your supplies with you. That's so important to have your supplies. Now we have a wonderful checklist here at the Academy where we have our cleaning basket checklist. So you can just send us a message and we'll pass that on to you, but there's some interesting items on there like a paintbrush.
Yes, a paintbrush is used to get into those small corners for dusting. However,
Windowsills, yes.
Make your cleaning basket and your products that you're going to carry with you, make it fun, make it colorful, make it beautiful.
Yes,
and then
beautiful bottles.
So you don't have to run up and down to fetch something. You have everything that you need to clean with you, and in that way you save time as well.
You have your tools with you, you have your caddy with you, you've got your products with you, that you're not running around what you need, so it's really, really important. Number 7, when in doubt, make a stealth test.
Yes.
So test before, if you're doing stains, so if you're in doubt knowing what it is to remove a stain, try to use a little bit of vinegar and water first, or let it soak before you're going to make a decision. And so test it on another fabric first.
Yes, on another fabric, maybe the same type of material, or test it on the reverse side, maybe in a little corner. Don't apply a product through the whole surface,
Yes.
and then realize that it's going to actually damage or
For
not
instance,
be
if
good for it.
you've never worked with beeswax and you're putting it on the wrong surface, that is not a surface that has to have wax on it, then first test it and see what it does on a different, a smaller of the similar. Number 8, don't divulge in easily damaged products. So if products are damaged, for instance, if you have a product that is on used and it's damaged, we shouldn't use damaged products.
Yes.
Very important.
Yeah, stay away from that.
Yes. Number 9, read the directions. Very important to read directions.
A lot of time when we buy a product, especially a specialized product for a certain item or brand, all these products have directions on them. If you follow the direction, I always say, if you can read, you can do it.
Absolutely. And be careful to put any wrong product also on electronics
Yes.
or computers.
You can't put wet stuff close to electronics because that can damage. You have to think what you're doing.
Absolutely. And the last one is number 10, is to protect yourself. Protect yourself, protective gear, use gloves if required. So if you're washing up or you're cleaning, read the directions of the product and know that it's harmful, so protect yourself. Have an apron on when you're cleaning so you can protect your clothes or your uniform, and be careful of spraying that nothing goes into your eye, because some of these products can be harmful. Now, I like to clean without harmful products, so I keep my bleach and Clorox and all these things far, far, far away, so it doesn't damage any of my clients or my own clothes, and that's important. Now, this wonderful tips we got from the most amazing book, which is How to Clean Just About Anything, and it's a wonderful book to have handy if in doubt when it comes to cleaning, and we love housekeeping. I'm fond of it and like to restore and to create and to clean up. And we thank you so much for joining us today. If you've got any messages or you would like to ask us any questions, you're more than welcome to do so. And follow us on our Instagram, SABA Butler Academy. Also, you can go to our website, www.thebutlerschool.com. And we thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And we are always here to answer any questions for you. From me, Newton Cross.
And myself, Bram West, happy cleaning.
Yes, happy cleaning.